Hello everyone, Simon here with a game review of the Sojourn. The Sojourn, and I hope I'm saying that right, we'll soon find out in the comments, is a 3D puzzle game that is absolutely gorgeous to look at and absolutely engrossing to play. It's available on PlayStation 4 as you see on your screens, but also Xbox One and PC. The PC version is currently only on the Epic Game Store, but I believe it's coming everywhere else later in 2020. The Sojourn looks unassuming from the outside, but I was heavily engrossed really quickly in this game. But it takes a few puzzles to understand its core game mechanics. And what I'm going to try and do is explain the different layers of how puzzles work in the Sojourn, because it took a few minutes for it to click with me, and then I was like, that's what we're doing. So, and this may come across quite convoluted, but I feel like it's important to explain where it's pulling all these different ideas from. A puzzle in the Sojourn asks you to get from A to B for you to continue on a non-narrative story, which is interesting in its own regard. Now, it might be that you need to cross loads of bridges that are broken. It might be crossing a giant chasm and reactivating things. It could be crossing portals, all kinds of different ways of getting across a level. But essentially, in your way, or to help you, are loads of different statues that you can walk up to and activate. Each statue, and different type of statue, has its own power-up. The first type flip between a dark world and a light world, and different things happen and the world changes depending on if you're in a dark or light world. So sometimes broken bridges will be mended. Sometimes things that are hidden in the light become visible in the dark, so you can cross new bridges that way. It could be that it activates some portals that you can then dive through. Some of them could be that you activate hoppers so that you can move statues around in different positions. Some of them might be that you activate some music that means that a door opens whilst that music is playing, for example. When you start to play with this light versus dark world, you'll start to then notice the second core mechanic, and that is, for the vast majority of the Sojourn's experience, time doesn't matter. It's distance that matters. And the best way I can describe this is if you've ever played the game Superhot, where you're playing as a 3D action shooter, when you stop moving in the Superhot, all the bullets stop moving as well. And that makes it a fantastically unique game to play because you can plan out how you're going to dodge the bullets as you go around. Take that same kind of stop-start mechanic and apply it to puzzles, and every time you turn on a statue, it's not how long it will stay active for, it's how far you can travel, and the further you travel, the power starts to decrease from the statues. And the way how the puzzles work in the Sojourn is that you're trying to work out how to cover the most amount of distance to get to the end before the powers run out. I hope I've explained that all right, because I'm tripping over it trying to explain it in a simple-ish way here. It takes a few puzzles for that to kind of trickle into your head in the game, but when it does then click and you're like, things start to make sense. And I must admit, when I first played the Sojourn, I got about 6 or 7 puzzles in and I stopped because I was just hitting puzzles and I was like, I can't work out how to get to the other end and I just feel thick. And then when I kind of went back and replayed the original ones with new eyes and was like, oh, I've completely missed this mechanic, things started to make sense and I became seriously engrossed in it again, and I kept playing for hours and hours at a time. Because you aren't focusing on speed for the majority of the time, you're focusing on distance, that allows you to sit and really carefully consider each and every move that you play. It's almost like a puzzle alternate reality moving portal chessboard. It's probably a really over-the-top way of talking about this game. Because what you'll be needing to do is to move in a really efficient way distance-wise between these statues, but quite often as the puzzles get more complex, you're not only moving, but you're also trying to activate switches that will move dark and light portals and statues around so that you can carry replenishing energy with you again. So an example might be that you've got loads of portals together and you've only got one statue that gives you like the dark world, but you need to carry that dark world with you to the end because the gate that is blocking your exit can only be powered by dark energy. So you need to turn on the statue at the end of the area, and in its like area of influence will be that gate that will then go, oh, I'm being powered by dark energy. Open sesame. So what you'll end up having to do is turn on the dark energy, which might open up a couple of portals for you that are inside its sphere of influence. You'll then try and work out the best way to navigate at your own pace through these portals, then turn around and you'll be playing with eyesight to try and lift up a statue with your power and kind of land it down on another statue point that you could potentially use. So not only have you got the Superhot, not only do you have the light and dark world, the third kind of layer of this puzzle game is about trying to get in positions of really good line of sight so that you can pick up statues and put them down, because all you need to do is then go and walk over to that statue again and it refills that distance meter of energy for you to then go and try and get to the next platform again. I stopped banging on about how the puzzles are now, but that's the 3 layers of how these puzzles work. And I think it's really important to explain that because I was missing one of those elements and it meant I wasn't enjoying Sojourn. But when it clicked and I got it, just the possibilities and the complexities of the puzzles became quite, not workmanlike, but I could understand the rules of the game now. And so I could try out new ways of doing things. I could reset puzzles and think, right, that's not the right way. Let's go again and try all different things. And I no longer felt lost. And when the graphics are beautiful and gorgeous, the way how every time you walk into a new level, it builds itself in front of you, I think is mesmerising and such a fantastic piece of imagery. The non-narrative adventure story that kind of goes on in between levels as well is interesting. And I love me a low poly aesthetic. I've said that before on this channel, so I'm won over with that. And the quiet but really rich music that goes on in the background also kind of just comes together to put you in a contemplative and reflective state of mind that really lends itself well to a puzzle game that doesn't rush you and makes you consider your moves. And so as a package, it's an absolutely fantastic and astonishing game that I've really got engrossed in and wanted to go further. With puzzle games, I generally struggle. If a puzzle game is hard, and I would actually say that the Sojourn is hard, well, it was for me anyway, there's loads and loads of bonus challenges to get through. I couldn't wait to get into those bonus challenges because I wanted to test that I'd got all of my theories about how the game works and all of the mechanics of things to work correctly. So they were no longer optional for me. I had to do them. The game also invents itself constantly throughout as well. So the game is split into 4 different types of areas and 4 different worlds. I'm purposefully only showing you the first 2 types of environment here so that I can keep some surprise for you. But each environment starts to add in some new complexity and some new ideas. So it doesn't get stale too quickly running through the same ideas. And because it introduces new concepts, it doesn't get so ridiculously convoluted that you just think this is absolutely impossible. It takes things to an acceptable limit without being ridiculous and then brings in something new to mix things up. And I think that those are sometimes the best puzzlers, or they are for me, and that's the type that I like anyway. So if you've got any comments or questions, please do leave them down below. I answer everything, whether you like it or not. There will be a written review over on higherplayinggames.com over the weekend. But yeah, this is a real hidden gem and I don't think people know about it. So if you like yourself a puzzle game, the Sojourn is absolutely one that I would wholeheartedly recommend to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a collection of media projects ran by me. If you like what you see and want to find out more, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support can make so much more possible, be that a like, a comment, a share, or a pledge. Thanks for watching.